We're pretty much in full season right now, but maybe you're feeling a shift that is happening this year. Maybe your phone isn't ringing the way that it's used to in the previous seasons. You can probably even see homeowners asking way many more quotes nowadays instead of relying on that referral kind of handshake economy that we had going so far. And it's interesting, right? Because you're not really slipping and your work is obviously still good. But what pretty much changed is the ground underneath you, and almost nobody really in this trade is talking about this trade. There's pretty much one move that decides whether the next 2 years are going to build your business or quietly shrink it. And I'm going to get to it in this video. But first, I kind of want to show you what actually moved, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Just for reference, I've been doing this since 2003, back when you built the website by hand on dial-up and waited like a full minute to just load one photo. I've watched every shift this industry has thrown at small operators, every change in how people find you, how they decide who to trust, what it costs to reach them. And I've watched those shifts quietly just end businesses that were way better than their competitors, but assume that the game is going to hold still. So when I actually tell you that the ground moved, I'm not really guessing. I've seen this exact thing happening a few times now already. Here's where most contractors are right now, right? They're telling themselves that this year was just weird. Recession smells are in the air, rates were high, people were nervous, I don't know. It'll bounce back, and pretty much the playbook that built the business will just keep on building it. Word of mouth, a few referrals, maybe a cheap website sitting there looking fine. That playbook worked for 10, 15 years now. When something works that long, your brain just files it under permanent. But the market you sell into is never permanent. It moves every single year, whether you're watching or not. Your competitors do different things. New ones show up. The way that homeowners find you change. The cost to reach them changes. None of that actually asks for your permission. And this year, more of it moved at once than I've seen in a long time. So let me walk you through the 4 things that actually shifted and pretty much one move that puts you on that winning side of all of them. Shift number 1, the crowd is real. You're not just imagining that there's like a higher competition or there's like more people coming in the market. Just in 2024 alone, there were 217,000 brand new home service businesses opened in this country. Not in total, just new in a single year. Home services was pretty much the only category that grew its number of new businesses over the year before it. So every market that you serve has just more trucks in it than it did 18 months ago, all pretty much chasing the same homeowners. And here's how you maybe felt it without actually naming it. The cost to get a single lead has been really climbing hard, and last year's costs just went up nearly for 7 out of 10 businesses in our world, almost double the rate of every other industry. And that tightness in your margins is not you really running your business worse, it's just more people fighting over the same attention, and that price of attention is just going up because of it. Moving on to shift number 2, the front door has changed. The way that a homeowner finds you stopped being what you think it is. For years, the move was simple. Show up on Google, maybe run some ads, be findable. That's pretty much all that mattered, but the front door changed. Almost half of the searches now put an AI answer to the very top before your organic listings being shown. When that answer shows up, the clicks to everything below it drop by about 60%, because pretty much everybody stays for that above the fold section. And now a growing number of homeowners are starting straight up asking AI who the good contractor is, and most of them never even click past the answer that they get. Which means that there is now a layer sitting between you and the homeowner, deciding who gets recommended before they even see a list. And the lead aggregator platforms that you may be used to lean on aren't the safe bet either anymore. The biggest lead reseller in the space is actually shrinking right now, cutting how many leads it even sends out. If your whole plan is renting attention from a middleman, you're building on ground that can move under you the day that they just change their mind. Moving on to shift number 3, the big money has actually found your trade. This one is one that almost nobody on the tools has actually caught up yet. Right now, there are more than 30 investor-backed companies whose entire job is buying up small home service businesses and rolling them all into one giant operation. One of them literally bought around 60 companies last year alone. It now owns close to 300 businesses doing over $1 billion a year. In roofing, the number of these buy-up machines tripled in about 2 years. And here's the part that'll actually get you. When they buy out that plumber or the remodeler down the road, they just usually keep the local name, the same logo, and the same kind of friendly, family-owned story on the website and around the brand. So the local competitor you've been racing for a decade might just have a literal war chest behind the same truck. Now, I'm not really sharing this for you to panic or feel like the walls are closing in. Let's kind of look at the whole picture, right? With all that money pouring in, no single one of these giants also owns more than 2% of any local market. And this market is enormous, it's fragmented, and still pretty much anybody's stake. The money showing up is proof of how much is actually on the table. It's not really a sign that the table is being cleared. Before we move on to Shift 4, just please hit that quick subscribe button. I'm going to share more and more of these strategic insights so you can get ahead of the pack. All right, moving on to Shift 4, who actually has the money? The homeowner with the money right now is not really that young couple stretching for their first renovation. The market itself is at a record high. Over $500 billion a year are going in towards home improvement. And the biggest pile of that money sits with one group, homeowners 55 and up, that are controlling more than half of all the remodeling spending. Older homeowners alone put around $254 billion into their homes last year. And this is because they've got decades of equity built up. They're staying put instead of moving, and they're fixing up the home that they plan to live in for the next 10, 15 years. And here's what kind of matters about that buyer. They don't pick the cheapest and they don't chase the flashiest ad. They pick who they trust. They pick the name that shows up everywhere they look and feels like the obvious safe choice. So the contractor who becomes that obvious, that trusted name in the town right now will get to ride the single biggest wave of home spending we may ever see. That's actually the price of sitting at the table while everyone else is kind of panicking about the whole economy situation. So let's put all of these together. We have more competition than ever. We have a new gatekeeper that's deciding who gets recommended. We pretty much have the big money buying up your familiar brands and these family-owned businesses, and then a shift of these richest buyers that are simply buying on trust. Most contractors are going to answer all of that by doing nothing, because nothing feels safe. And they'll just continue telling themselves that they'll bounce back. Now, a few are going to do the one thing that wins across every one of those shifts at the same time. And that's the move I promised you at the start. The game is to actually become the contractor that your market finds first and trusts immediately. Not just one name in the mix, the name. The one that AI hands back because you're everywhere it looks. The one that the 60-year-old with a paid-off house and a kitchen budget actually calls without pulling other 3 quotes because she already feels that she knows you. You become that contractor that the buy-up firm would rather acquire than fight. You don't need their war chest to do this. You just need to quit treating your visibility and your reputation like they'll pretty much take care of themselves, because that's not a thing. And actually start building them on purpose. Do it this year before your competitors do it and before AI just locks into these defaults and actually stops asking. So here's the rule that I carry into 2027 if I were you. The market is going to keep on moving, whether you market or not. The only question is whether it moves forward toward you or it's just going to go past you. Everything that I showed you is already happening. None of it is waiting for you to be ready. So here's the one thing to do this week. Pull up your phone and search the way that a homeowner in your town would search for what you do. See who shows up first, whose reviews win, whose name the AI hands back. And this is not platform specific. You can do these searches on ChatGPT, you can do these searches on Google and get the AI overviews, you can do the searches on Claude, Perplexity, whatever these homeowners think that they actually use in your market, run those queries against the AI. We're not just looking for keywords anymore, we're actually looking for reputation, we're actually looking for how is someone actually trusted in the market. And at the end, that's the race that you're actually in. And if it's not you yet, now you know exactly what to go and build. The good news is that most of your competition is going to keep assuming that this year was a fluke. That gap in between is actually yours for the taking. So take it. And obviously, if you need a trusted partner in the process, we are it. I'll see you in the next one.